So these are kales, and we've been feeding from this little batch here for a while now. That's why I was looking for mulching, because I wouldn't want them to go anywhere. They're quite young, and we want to preserve them for the longest time. These are the variety that doesn't grow old, like it's a perennial variety. Right now I really want to create a system that can run itself by self-sustaining, where you don't have to just go every time and replant every growing season. So what happens is they have these suckers that you just, when you're ready, you get these suckers and then you plant like the cuttings. La, you have your vegetables. So as we wait for our apples to do their thing, we get to feed from this batch. This is where we just planted the other younger plants and fruits. But right now, we are making use of this space because we also do not want to keep tilling the land for no reason. This space is right now productive, and this small batch, when the time is right, you can even sell some of the surplus from here. It's quite a number. We have from there all the way to this other end. Right now they're young, so you just get a single leaf, and they're fully organic. That's a thing I like about growing your own food, because then you do not have to worry about whichever chemicals there are. And the good thing is they're not infected by any pests as of now. But when they're pests, you also have organic ways of repelling those pests instead of going the chemical way. And one of the organic ways is right here. The marigolds. We are interplanting the marigolds here, and nowadays our farm is really smart because of the marigolds. The flowers are all over. Actually, there was a person passing through, there's a road over there, and they were wondering why we have flowers in the farm. It doesn't look like something that you should be doing in the farm. It looks like a waste of space, but for us, it's really working in supporting our plants right there. So this is gonna be our supper for today, right from the farm at no cost. Okay, there's an initial cost and the labor of love, but once you're established, once the farm is established, that is it. You now eat a continuous supply of vegetables for years actually, and this can stay here for over 20 years plus, because you just keep replenishing it, you just keep refreshing it. So like when they get really tall and then they get old, you just use the suckers, take them back into the ground, and you have a continuous supply of food. Food security is a thing around here. And the other thing is, we don't have, what do we call it, shops around here. Like the shops are really far. So every time I think I'm a homebody, every time I think about going to the shop, I just lose it. So I'll rather come shop from my garden, and that's why I have these tomatoes growing around here. And the funny thing is, they're actually taking quite well to the sun. I'm supposed to now start trellising them because they look like they want to start flowering. The sun notwithstanding, we are praying for rains, at least at night, and I hope that will really help. I don't want to start giving them water as of this point, because I've done tomatoes before, and I've realized that they actually rather not give you'll rather not give them water if you're not going to be consistent. But the beans here, they're not so resistant. They don't look like they'll make it. The leaves are starting to turn yellow, and they're looking like they're really hungry for water. So we need to do something around here, because we do need the beans as well. So every time I'm here, I just have to check on the grafting, how it's going, and see, we're in luck. I thought some of these were not going to make it, but apparently they're still in the process. See, that one was looking like it's giving up on us, but now it's actually doing its thing. This one too, there are signs of some green on the tip, and that is a good sign. So they were looking like this, and I thought maybe they won't make it, but I was still glad that this one had already made it. And now it's joined by 1, 2, and 3. Now this is actually the rootstock, the real rootstock. The plant that was here, the initial plant here died off, but the rootstock survived, and right now we're about to have more than 3 varieties of apples on that young one. I'm excited for the future. I can't wait. Right now, after so many disappointments, I'm doing what's called the chaos farming. I'm just trying to integrate as much as I can into the farm so that we see what actually does well and what does not. By diversifying, we're going to have a return on investment sooner than later, and that is going to be the epitome of our little farm right here. Look at the progress. I love it. I love it. It's looking so much better. And to think it's been really dry around here, I'm surprised. Oh, even this one is growing. The other time we were doing an update, it was not actually growing. So right now, we have more growing. More of them are coming up. See, this is aggressive growth. It felt so nice to actually do something and it works. You feel validated, you feel encouraged, you have energy to do some more. And I'm so grateful to God and nature for allowing us celebrate this milestone. Look at that. This thing has barely been a month. It's slightly over a month in this farm, and it's really taking on well. I do not take it for granted, for sure. I'm impressed. I'm encouraged. Watch out for Lynn Farmstead Nursery. Because if I know how to graft, then what can stop me? I also have, like, these are actual trees. So these are not coming off from the main branch, which is right here, but they're rather coming off from the ground. These were the rootstocks. I let them grow because I intended to like graft, although I didn't know when. And now that it's happening and we have all that new growth, it means that when these are mature, then we're going to have 1, 2, 3, and 4 new trees. So I'll separate them most definitely when it's raining, not right now, and I'll let them take to the ground better. And the funny thing is, some of you people out there that are selling seedlings actually sell seedlings that are looking like this. I know I've bought some seedlings that were looking like this. So were they 1 month old in the ground before you sold them to us? And some of those seedlings actually never make it. So it's better to let the seedlings establish. As much as there's a demand, it's better to let them establish, I think. Or what do you think? I hope that some of you wenye tabia kama hizo, you'll stop that. Because look at this, it's barely a month and it's 1,000 bob. So this is 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, and 4,000. That's easy money, right? Nurseries, here we come. look out for Lynn Farmstead nurseries. From this, we are manifesting a nursery because now we are professional grafters. This one the other day was not looking so good, so I let the pepper stay here, but let's see how the growth is right now. Looks so much better. See? Beautiful. I think I should now get rid of the pepper, right? Looking so much better. Tell me, how long should I take before I allow how long does it take for the grafting unit to heal? But of course, I'm in no hurry. I'll even have to like repair the unit, the healing joint, because I used polythene, the normal polythene, and I realized that at some point it starts to get torn. So I'll keep repairing the union joint so that we like have a better healed grafting point before we let them grow. So the other thing you have to keep doing is to check for growth beneath the grafting point so that you discourage it. Like this is going to be a really good seedling because the point where I grafted it from is rather high. So I'm thinking of acquiring Brabant variety scions and upworking the entire garden with Brabant, and then later on I'll get rid of a majority of these Anna and turn them into Brabant. I'm really toying around with that idea. Let me know what you think about that decision, especially if you have Brabant growing in your area. I'll really love for you people to comment and tell me where you are growing your Brabant from. Because the feedback I have, most of it is from Eldoret. I love to know if more areas grow Brabant successfully before we make that major shift. But of course, I'll also intercrop with another variety for pollination purposes. So this is what actually happened. You see, this is a rootstock that's growing from the base of this Wambugu apple, and then we have these two, and this one is still growing. So what I did is I did not remove it. I just let it grow, and then I cut and grafted another variety on top. So in future, once this is fully healed, I can now remove it from the base and replant it elsewhere. So that's the plan. Tell me, is that not 1,000 saved? I think so. This is Lynn Farmstead. Thank you for coming along and keeping on this journey with me. It's an evening around here, and this is the only time I feel so confident about filming because it's been really hot. Things have been hot around here, and you feel like you want to faint if you come outside when it's so hot. So at least right now it's cooler, and I'm out here getting us some vegetables for supper. So that's our evening. And of course, when you're so invested in the trees, whenever you get into the garden, it's never a full day before you run a little tour of the garden every time. Happens every time. I never grow tired of it. Sometimes I actually feel lovesick, some form of lovesick for the farm if I take too long to come. So it's my therapy, free therapy. Whenever you feel like your head is too full, you come into the garden, and by the time you go back, you are fully refreshed. Can you feel the birds chirping? And every time there's something surprising, some new growth, some new disaster that we want to prevent in time. Something is always happening around here in the farm. So scouting should be a thing if you have a farm. Let me see you in the next video. If you've not subscribed yet, please do consider subscribing. We love storytelling around here. We love our farming journey, and we love having a community. So let us know down below in the comment section what you think or what your experience has been like, if you're a farmer or if you're a beginner or if you're just passionate about farming. Let us know. See you in the next one. Oh, and by the way, I was here much earlier and I was working on this because I wanted to slash it back, and the bees were really aggressive. I was actually afraid that they were going to attack the neighbors. But right now, I'm surprised that they're really silent. This is the closest I've been to this place since the bees were all over the place. But right now, they have gone back to sleep. And there was an orange here that's no longer there. I kept thinking of getting the orange, but someone has already gotten it. Crazy. So for that reason, I'll have to get these other ones. Funny thing around here, we are always competing with thieves. That problem is not yet fully solved. Oops. That was a really big orange over there, and someone has already helped themselves to eat. Anyway, so we got this for ourselves. We'll let it ripen in the house.